Answer the following questions. Question number A. According to LaPena, what is the importance of oral tradition? To what extent do you agree with his opinion and why? So this is the answer. Oral tradition means passing of religious and cultural beliefs, legends and myths from one generation to another orally. Such kind of passing of tradition is orally is important because it helps to maintain and preserve cultural values, and this is also art. I completely agree with his opinion because our cultural values are our identity and way of life and must be passed from one generation to another generation to lead our society ahead, preserving one uniqueness. Question number B. Who preserve and pass on oral tradition? Answer is, by nature oral tradition flows from previous generations to the next generations as water flows up to down. Such tradition is preserved and passed on by the elders who have knowledge of the culture and the responsibilities they have in their community to the young people who preserve and pass on their next generations. Question number C. What is the danger of not passing on information from generation to generation? Answer is, if such information is not passed from one generation to another, there is the danger of extinction of such tradition and culture along with the death of traditional people. Such things exist orally. If there is a gap in one generation, the upcoming generation totally forgets it. Question number D. What is the difference between oral tradition and literary tradition? Answer is, oral tradition, though it is an art form, survives for a long time if it is transferred from one generation to another. Literary tradition means transmitting traditional information through writing. Oral tradition permits correction, but literary tradition does not permit. Once a book is published, it is harder to correct errors. Question number E. How does LaPena establish a relationship between art and oral tradition? Answer is, the essay Sharing Tradition mainly focuses on the importance of sharing of oral tradition and says that it is also an art form. The essayist establishes a relationship between art and oral tradition because it helps the artist to visualize the stories, the characters, the design and the color of art, the atmosphere and other information. Questions from the reference beyond the text. First question is, LaPena states the oral tradition helps maintain the values of a culture. If you believe that oral tradition is important, how would you maintain it? And answer is, historical memories, incidents, events, culture, myths, legends are recorded either through written scripts or passed on generation to generation orally. Social behaviors, norms, ideas related to a specific group of people or society are called culture. It enhances our quality of life and overall well-being of an individual and society. Oral tradition transmits such things in form of tales, myths, legends, fairy tales, songs, poems, proverbs from one generation to another. The values of such things are added while passing from one age to another. It also helps to shape our identity. To maintain our oral tradition, I must learn it from our elders. I can transfer to my children if I know and practice them properly. I participate in all kinds of cultural ceremonies that my society follow. I listen to my elders, ask questions to them. I follow religious norms and values, dig out my ancestral history and so on. Only after receiving all of them properly, I can pass them to my children. Question number B. Not everyone is capable of fulfilling the roles of elder. Explain this statement with reference to the essay. Answer is, the roles of the elders often involve responsibilities that require specialized knowledge, skills, or the wisdom that is required with the experience. Sometimes the elders can mentor a younger person to assume the responsibilities. The elders often have leadership roles in a community which will require them to listen, communicate, settle dispute, or offer guidance to solve problems. They must be able to earn the respect of the community because of their contribution to the society, the knowledge, their position, the way they preserve culture and tradition. They make a special position in the society. When they die, it's hard to fill up the position the elders created. What is the controlling idea or thesis of the essay? The controlling idea or thesis of the essay is that oral tradition is important in helping maintain the values of culture, and it is also an art form. It is an it is as important as literary tradition. The information regarding tradition and culture must be transferred to the succeeding generations by previous generations for the healthy society. Such things teach the new generation lots of things that teaches them how to live a life. Human life is long and there comes different obstacles and fragmentations, and such oral tradition give useful ways to combat obstacles and fragmentations. For this, the elders must have respect to the youngers. The youngers must have respects to the elders, and they must listen to their stories. Question number D. How do topic sentences guide the reader through this essay? What would be lost without them? Answer is, an essay is a piece of writing on a particular subject. Though the writing styles differs, the main objective of an essay is to persuade the readers. To persuade or convince the readers, the writer brings different supporting ideas separately explained in single paragraphs. So paragraphs are distinct sections of a piece of writing. The persuasive quality lies on the construction of each paragraph. Every paragraph, either it forms the introduction or body or conclusion of an essay, contains topic sentence or main point to support the thesis. The topic sentences of each of the paragraphs in this essay help to understand the main idea of the essay, that is, importance of oral tradition for the preservation of culture. They guide the readers to understand the main idea of the essays. Without them, the readers would find them in a puzzle and could never read the main idea clearly. Badly constructed topic sentences lead to the paragraphs out of track. The readers would not know about the importance of oral tradition, problems in maintaining oral tradition, and its connection to the art. Answer next question, reference to the text. What are the four major problems developed by the LaPena with regard to maintaining the oral tradition? How are they used to structure the essay? And answer is, the major part of the essay is about four major problems LaPena points out in maintaining oral tradition. The first problem is that religious obligations for the ceremonies and dance carried out by the elders are hard to fulfill. After they pass away, if the young people don't pay much attention to them, nothing remains except regret after they pass away. The second problem is that the advancement, this is the first problem, and the second problem is that the advancement in science and technology and its grip to new generation, leading stress, worry and change, is making hard to maintain oral tradition. Modern age is quite different to the world of our great-grandparents. Present education system is another obstacle for maintaining the oral tradition. Researchers may gather wrong information on oral material and they modify to make sense, validating erroneous information, and readers mistakenly believe them to be right. Hence, expert researchers, writers, lecturers pass wrong information to the people. They don't recommend the elders for correct information. And finally, the source of one information and way of giving it also a problem to maintain oral tradition. Only after getting proper understanding, the information must be transferred. These problems are dealt with due attention. To persuade the readers, the essayist has given examples how these problems are creating obstacles in maintaining oral traditions. Reference beyond the text. First question is, write a paragraph or two explaining your attitude toward the oral tradition, passing along information. We are all social beings and we live in our society. There are some cultural identities of each society and the members of their society must follow and share. Every society has some underlying values, norms and behaviors which are carried out generation to generation through oral tradition, that is also called orality. The first and the still most widespread mode of human communication. It refers to a dynamic and highly diverse oral medium for involving, storing and transmitting knowledge, art and ideas. This is also an art form which plays a vital role in preserving our tradition, culture and beliefs. The continuous practice of such tradition from generation to generation helps to make our culture immortal. Different modern things are helping to erode our cultural values. In such a circumstance, oral tradition helps to make it strong and unaffected. Question number B. Our culture is our identity. Write few paragraphs explaining how you intend to preserve your culture, values and norms. Okay. Answer is, preserving our culture is important. Our culture is a part of our identity. If we don't preserve our culture in later generations, they will completely forget about the beautiful culture of our ancestor. The culture our ancestors followed is precious and unique. I take part in the following activities with aim to preserve my culture, values and norms. Every culture has its own values and norms, so do mine. We have our own religion, traditions, food and clothing customs and festivals, so on. I take part in every cultural activities take place at my own home or in public places. I share these cultural values to my children, my friends and relatives, as well as respecting others. Okay. Several festivals and rituals have their own norms and behavior to be followed. I celebrate all festivals and carry out all ritual rites. I am sensitive to my culture and I respect them. I respect them. I worship all gods and goddesses according to my religion. I observe the elders, how they take cultural responsibilities and apply in my life. I manage time to participate in family functions, speak my ancestral language, eat traditional food according to religious festivals such as Maghe Sankranti, Janai Purnima. I always wear sacred thread according to our custom. There are lots of such things according to our culture, and I take part in each and every occasions. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon for the latest new updates. Thank you once again.